What's going on, YouTube? Now, as promised, we're back with our first official series here at the Madden Lab, which is going to take place every single Wednesday, where you, the people, ask any question you like, and I do my best to come up with an answer for you. Now, this week, I'm just going to answer our first question while you guys watch some random highlights by yours truly that I just captured within the last 7 days. Now, this way, I don't have to make separate videos just showing highlights. And I guess it's only fitting that the first question I should answer was by Static the Wizard, and he asks, very vague question, but who are you? Can we get some background to the man who runs my personal favorite Madden Tips channel? Well, I think the first thing out of my mouth might surprise a lot of you, which is that I was actually born in 1975, which, yes, you guessed it, makes me 37 years old. Now, I know, it's hard to believe, not only because I don't sound that old, but also because my stick is unbelievable. Just kidding. Anyway, basically I started playing Madden literally from day one on my Commodore 64 in the 1980s just by myself, and then on Sega Genesis with friends from school. Then Tecmo Super Bowl came out, and it was the first time that you could have a real season with stats and everything. And my best friend and I, we played that thing to death, and I do mean to death. Sometimes I actually even wonder if I've played more Tecmo Super Bowl in my life than I've played every single Madden game ever made combined. And I mean, we played that game a lot. Then I basically played Madden casually for a few years, still playing Tecmo Bowl, until one time, back in 2003, my buddy Mark had Madden on PlayStation, and he asked me to come over and play, and I'm thinking to myself, this dude's in for a world of hurt. No one loves football as much as I do, and I've played a lot of Tecmo Bowl. I'm just a natural. Well, he whooped me with his Raiders versus my Dolphins, like 50-7 or something crazy like that. And then again by a similar score right after. And I'll never forget leaving his house feeling really embarrassed. I'm the guy that's been watching NFL football since age 10 and hasn't missed a single Sunday of football of his entire life since high school. Even to this day, I've never missed a single Sunday of NFL football. Not to mention, I love football video games. So this had to change. I can't lose like that. So in 2004, I bought Madden the day it came out, and I started looking at the game completely different. Scheming and coming up with money plays and route combinations that would beat any type of defense. My offense was really good, and I beat a lot of really good players. My defense, though, was a little suspect. So let's fast forward to Madden 2006, which was the year of the Vision Cone, and this is when I really took off. I was tops in the ranked game leaderboard, which at the time really meant a lot to me because that's all there was. And the one thing that really changed my game was that cone. Not only because my offensive stick work moving the cone back and forth was really good, but because when it came to playing defense, that cone really put me in my opponent's head. Before, I always struggled never knowing where my opponent was going to throw the ball. And even though my offense was deadly, I was just really bad at defense. And that cone basically showed me my opponent's thought process and read progressions. And by the end of 2006, I had it down to perfection. Just based on my opponent's offensive formation, I knew exactly where he was going to go with the ball. And if he was covered, I knew exactly where his second read would be. So really, if it wasn't for that vision cone, I'm not even sure that you'd be listening to me ramble on about my life when it came to football games, to be quite honest with you. Now, by 2007 and 2008, I played in leagues where we turned the vision cone off. It didn't matter to me. I finally got it. Playing defense just became second nature, and even still, whenever I play, I just think it's my biggest attribute. Defensive stick and knowing exactly how to bait my opponent. And just by formation, knowing where he wants to go with the ball. Now, all that said, I hated the vision cone, and I'm completely glad it's not in the game anymore, and I never want to see it again. I used to get accused all the time of cone chasing, which was a term that all the jealous players used to use. And that's why we turned the cone off in that league. Was because really good players got sick and tired of all the complaints that we used to get, saying, oh, all you do is just run around and chase the cone. Now, in 2010, I started doing tips just with my camcorder facing my monitor for free, and in 2012, I got my own hot capture device and started up my own Madden tip site called MaddenFreestyle.com, and I have to say it was a lot of fun doing that. The whole idea behind my Madden site was just based on years of, hearing from ebook buyers that the setups were too complicated, and the average player, was never able to use a defense that had 6 or 7 steps, or that people never really showed you how to run an offensive play properly. They'd tell you the hot routes to make, they'd tell you the read progressions, just listing them, and that was it. And having friends of mine that had the same problem, I just really wanted to help the newer players or the lesser skilled players be able to win games. Now, having really good offensive or defensive stick, that's certainly a big advantage, but it's not the only factor when it comes to winning games of Madden. So basically, I just focused on plays that required minimal setups and concepts that anybody could use. Some players are ridiculous with their read progressions. We're going to call those guys Aaron Rodgers. Then you've got guys who they can't really see the field that well. They throw a lot of bad passes, they make bad reads, and we'll call those guys Kevin Cobb. Just like in the real NFL, you've got guys that have it, and then you've got guys that don't. So to even the playing field, I showed offensive plays that were extremely effective, but you didn't have to move your eyeballs back and forth from one side of the field to the next making reads if that wasn't your strong suit. Just focus on an area, and based on what you see, someone's going to be open. Just plays that anybody can use. And I was pretty successful, made a few $1,000s, but then Gambino from the Madden Lab, now known as the Gamers Lab, contacted me and asked me to come work for him. And TGL, being the biggest Madden site out there, which also happened to be my favorite, I said yes, and here I am today. So aside from Madden, I guess just, here's a few details about me. I do work. I have a girlfriend that I live with who completely understands my Madden addiction. I live in a brand new house we just bought that was done being built on December 20th, 2012, and we moved in on the 21st of December. We absolutely love it. I don't have any pets, and I actually own a hockey league that plays during the summer, which is a big source of my income. And if you're a hockey fan and you know Claude Giroux from the Philadelphia Flyers, well, he actually plays in my league during the summer. And, that's something I always look forward to is the summertime hockey league. What else? I have an iPhone, and I think Blackberries suck. I think Androids, they're decent, but really nothing beats an iPhone. It's like the yacht, the Cadillac of phones. And other than that, basically, I'm the worst Call of Duty player of all time. I mean, the worst. I think my KD was like 0.31 in Modern Warfare 3. I mean, it was just friggin' brutal. And last but not least, Madden players who always talk like they're the best and people who talk shit during Madden games annoy the hell out of me more than anything else when it comes to Madden. Everybody loses games. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed listening to a little bit of information about myself. Post in the comments section. Next week we're probably going to start answering questions about the game itself, strategies, things like that. If you have any types of problems that you need to figure out, want answers to, whatever, go ahead and post, and if I choose your question, I'll answer it next week. Thanks for listening, guys, and I'll see you next week.